Yeah, what y'all talking about? It's the daily go get 'em show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it whiz? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off left lane, no coasting. It's the DG show, y'all, all up in your area. Here it is, Pretty Petty Tuesday. And we're going to do this thing the right way. Everything is going to be all right. It's going to be okay. We do this show with like every day. Every day we convene right around this time. Except on the weekends, we take 11 o'clock to shine it up. It's going to be all right. And we do this thing at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. And tonight on the DG show, we are talking about when you're used to it being there and you're taking it for granted. You're used to it being there and you're taking it for granted, baby. You know what I'm saying? Used to it being there and you're taking it for granted. What do y'all know? You know, there are certain things that you can get a person used to. And when you get them used to it, it's going to be real hard to break away from it because they're used to you doing it. They're used to you being there. And I tell you what, there's going to become a time when whatever you were doing as a courtesy or a favor, somebody is going to figure, well, you already started out doing that, so you got to keep on going doing that. And it's like one of those things. You know how they say whatever you did to get them is what you have to keep doing to keep them? Well, that sounds like a situation where you are getting free reign to take something for granted or what you think. Emily Dunlap is in the house. A bow, she about to turn it out. And my brother Ansel Jones always right here, ready to bring it on home. This work. Carol Chamber, let me favorita. I'm glad to see you right here, and you know that I need ya. So that's how it's going down, y'all. When the Daily Go Get 'Em show. Used to it being there and taking it for granted. Used to it being there and taking it for granted. Hey, you can say that it's all our fault. You can say that we should have never started something that we couldn't finish or couldn't complete or couldn't keep going. But you know how it goes. So let's go get into it and get involved. These puzzle pieces right here, we gonna solve. Or should I say these missing puzzle pieces here, we gonna solve. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this your daily go get 'em show. We do this every single day, every day it rains, every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. We break it down, baby. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains and the DG will do the same. I am your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the Arts, the Daily Go Get a Business Show all up in your area, and we are good on this Pretty Petty Tuesday, and it is the 29th of the month. We only have 2 days left, and one of those days is sort of like a holiday, and it's not going to be the same holiday that it has been on other days because we are in the middle of a pandemic. The Rona is going crazy. COVID-19, you know, is messed the whole scene. So y'all can take your ass out there to Times Square, wherever you go, and watch fireworks and let the ball drop and all of that. But I suggest you do it in the crib around people that you do it in the crib with normally. This year, I think you should follow the rules. I think you should follow the rules this year. We normally take for granted, you know, because we're used to it being there. We're used to certain people putting on for the holidays. You can get used to the same people cooking at the same crib every year. And we've had to take a hit this year now, haven't we? And the ones who didn't take that hit, the ones who did entertain this year, they kind of bit the bullet. I've been hearing a lot of tragic stories, yo. I've been hearing a lot of tragic stories about family gatherings. It's not cool. I've been hearing a lot of tragic stories about family gatherings. It's supposed to be a beautiful thing, a nice thing of a gathering, people of like loves, hearts, minds convening to have a good time around the holidays like they usually do. But I've been hearing about people putting on for the holidays, convening at their crib with a lot of people there and everybody getting sick and some people even dying. That's not cool. That is not what we want for 2020. But these are the kind of stories that we've been having to deal with this year. So, getting used to being healthy, being used to, or should I say, being used to always being able to walk, talk, do things, do for yourself, hang out, roll out, do whatever. That's an easy thing for you to take for granted. But guess what? This year, we've had to make some adjustments. Some people have gotten sick this year that don't normally get sick. Some people died this year that we wouldn't make it until probably 10 years down the line. We've had a lot of crazy shit go on this year, man, and we've got to stop the bleeding. But what we're talking about tonight is being used to it and taking it for granted. So we're going to have to go into the relationship part of this whole segment. We're going to have to go into the relationship segment of this whole thing, I should say. You know why? Because in a relationship, in a marriage, in a loving situation, there are always going to be situations that get taken for granted. Because you know why? That's kind of what love is about. When you love somebody, you do for somebody. When you love somebody, you do for somebody. When you love somebody, you do for that body. You get with that body. You do for that hottie. You might come out of your pocket with your ends. You might hang out with them and all of your friends. You might put on a show and do your thing. You might treat them just like a queen or a king. And it goes on every day. It reciprocates and rolls over, and you do it that way. And when they become used to that life, and you make sure you treat them like a husband or wife. And it's a beautiful love, and everything is all good. It fits you just like a glove. But when things start to break down, and it sounds like you wouldn't do the same things if I wasn't around. And if I was down, if I couldn't do it, if I was immobilized, would you be down? And I don't think so. So we gonna see just for show, so I can really know. Used to it being there and taking it for granted. How many of y'all have been in a relationship where y'all have done a lot for y'all man or y'all woman, and they took it for granted, and you took issue with them taking it for granted? Now you could have seen that they were taking it for granted, and maybe they were treating you like you supposed to do things that you were doing from the goodness of your heart, and maybe you resented it for whatever reason. Because one of the things you have to consider is, like, if you really elected to start doing things for somebody and you started doing it on your own, why would you get mad, or why would you stop doing them just to see? Because that happens. People do it all the time. They be doing things a certain kind of way, and then they feel some kind of way, and then they stop doing the things the kind of way to try to see what they going to say. So I used to wash your dirty ass drawers on the regular. It was consecutive. But now it's dead, and you're going to have to wash your drawers on your own. No more skid marks for you, Jones. You're a woman. She cooks for you. She cleans for you. She washes your clothes and even irons like an old school joint. You used to that. Your woman takes care of you. She takes care of home and takes care of you. All you have to do is come through, pay the bills, and you get treated like a king. If that's what you if that's what you consider being treated like a king. Not everybody looks at it that way, but a lot of people do. And when the hate and the jealousy is going to kick in, because when somebody sees you getting something that they could only dream of, you know how that go. You know how it go. And you know that I love you so. So shit gets riled. T. Carey Wright, what's going on, man? What's up, T. Carey Wright? Good to see me, so you. Yeah, I'm saying, it's really, really, it really is. And Stacey Yvette White, what's going on, man? Holding it down for the D every day. So my man Ansel Jones, Jones says he joined the military at age 18, didn't get my mature mind until 20. Well, shoot, you were still kind of ahead of the game as far as what people think that a man's age is to be mature. Because at 20 years old, I wasn't mature. I was a typical 20-year-old, but I wasn't mature. I was very impatient. I wanted things the way I wanted them. I was used to things being a certain kind of way. I was mature in as far as being responsible is concerned, because at 20 years old, I was pretty much putting myself through school. Pretty much. You know, I mean, I had student loans and grants and shit like that. It ain't like my parents was paying for school. So I'm thinking at 20 years old, well, I don't feel like I should have to show y'all my grades. I don't live at home. Even though I was living in an apartment that was owned by my dad. But, you know, in my mind, I was totally on my own. I ain't pay no rent, but I was on my own. Had to pay the utilities. Had to pay for the phone. I was barely making enough money to do that. But anyway. But I'm figuring like, well, why should y'all see my grades? I don't even see why my mail should go to my mom's house when I live here and I'm a full-fledged adult, 20 years old. And kind of making it on my own. Y'all ain't paying for this school. And it wasn't. Now, when I went up to school, my dad was giving me like a little monthly stipend. I'll never forget it, $150 a month. It's not a lot of money when you really look at it. I used to be looking forward to that $150 a month too, because it was all drinking money. Didn't really do nothing with that money, but it was all drinking money. But it's all good though. It's all good. And we made it work. But I was not mature at age 20. At age 20, I took a lot of things for granted. A lot of things, you know. But as a matter of fact, at 20 years old, I probably wouldn't let a chick do a lot of things for me. Like, I like to eat, I like to cook, but I didn't, you know. I guess I kind of looked at it like, if this chick start cooking for me and doing shit like that, then I ain't never going to be able to get rid of her. And I'm not really sure if she the one. It was always like that. It always seems like the ones that are willing to do the most for you, that don't be the one. At least for me, it was never the one. It was like, she aight. Like, she ain't got what I really want. But she got a lot of good shit. The next man should handle this. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I ain't like no bum ass chicks. No ratchet, you know, ain't going nowhere ass chicks. I couldn't get into that either. It's a little weird. But anyway, in a relationship, you get used to things. Either you do for a person or they do for you, and you start to get used to certain things. Like, it could be simple for a man. If you dealing with a shorty that gives you the bomb head every night or every time y'all do it, whatever. She give you the bomb head time after time. I mean, she's a finisher. She ain't just a starter on the team. She makes sure she played the whole 60 minutes or the 48 minutes, whatever, however long, 9 innings, whatever. She in it to win it. She in it to win it, rewind it, wind back and spin it. You're going to get used to that. And you can best believe that the next chick probably ain't going to do that. As you get older, you can actually start to expect this. But when you're a young cat, yeah, that's a gift. A gift that you're going to get used to, a gift that you like, and a gift that you're probably going to take for granted. Like, I'm supposed to get this bomb head every time. We can't even start without it. After all, whatever you did to get them is what you have to do to keep them, right? But you know how chicks are. They don't mind doing for a motherfucker that's mad appreciative all the time and somebody who reciprocates. But once a chick starts to see that, oh, so you just take, no give. Every time it's time to give, you want to act a little funny. And she may not even be the type that asks for a lot, but you still cut your eyes all crazy and act a fool if she asks for just a little, as if you don't owe a letter of gratitude. So, you know how it is? A woman gonna push the envelope like, oh, so you take for granted that this is the way it's supposed to be, huh? Getting your little button-down shirts ironed. We used to call them Oxfords. There wasn't no such thing as button-downs, 80s and 90s. It was Oxfords. Oxford. Sometimes silk shirts, whatever. So you getting those ironed, maybe even your pants, whatever. Getting that happen. Getting a grub. Getting treated nice. Like shorty, for a young John, she all up on this domestic shit. And she ain't bitching about it. Everything is all good. It's love. You getting serviced. And you ain't even have to do nothing. You ain't even have to ask. You getting this. You getting this because this is how you get it. Okay. You're getting used to this, right? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I didn't get a chance to mix this. This shit is thick as hell. I feel like I need a straw. Hold on, let me see. That's a little better. Ansel Jones says somebody was talking about their player days. Then I realized I'm mature. That's what's up. It's a good look. It's a good look. That's a good look. Emily says, I'm with the same people daily since this pandemic. That's what's up. I hope that the people that you're with daily are with the same people daily. Cherry is all up in the house. Cherry, Cinderella, day to day. Well, it's the woman day to day with famous Cinderella, day to day. Well, it's the woman day to day with fame. What's going on, day to day? Good to see me, some of you. Word up, no doubt. And so Joe says I was in South Dakota in 2018 to 1822. I don't know what that means. I was in South Dakota 1822. Okay. I knew everything about nothing. Age 20 was the first time I deployed overseas. This adult life is real. Cherry says, the ones you do the most for, a lot of times don't appreciate it. Now I don't do much. Some asking me to cook. I only heat up the microwave, babe. No title, no stove. Wow. Oh, so what do you mean no title? Do you mean like he got to be your husband or he has to be your man? If he only has to be your man, I can't really blame you. I'm not really sure if you should be getting free meals. If y'all just kicking it, y'all just hitting, because more than likely, normally when y'all are just hitting, one of y'all ain't wanting to just be hitting. Because when you hit regular, like if you can look forward to the hit, then the hit is not the only thing you want. Like if you wasn't really looking for the hit, it's like I'll take the hit in absence of a better hit. Then it's like, all right, but yeah, you shouldn't. No cooking. So if that's what you're talking about, I can't be mad. What's up, YS Books? It's always a good look. Good to see you here. The confident, not shook. That's word. Good to see you, man. So yeah. I don't know. Used to it being there and taking it for granted. We could take it all the way back to when we were growing up with our parents. My mom used to wash my clothes until I moved out. And I remember that before I moved out, when I was talking about moving out, she was like, all right. She was like, all right, well, let me take you to the laundromat. I was like, to the laundromat for what? She was like, because you're going to have to learn how to wash your own clothes. What you going to do? Come over here to wash your clothes every day, every time they get dirty? I'm thinking like, no. I was never really selfish in that way. Plus, I wasn't driving when I moved out. 18, 19. I was 18 years old, about to turn 19. So I wasn't driving, and I'm not going all the way over my mom's house and have to wash clothes all day. I'm going to let them shits build up. Kept buying clothes so I wouldn't have to go to the laundry a lot. Load up on mad drawers. So she was like, all right, well, we need to start going to the laundromat. I was like, but I ain't moved yet. She was like, listen, you talking about moving? Are you serious? I said, yeah. She said, well, come on. And I remember trying to guilt trip my mom, like, well, you could have just washed them. Like, you know what I mean? She was like, nope. You're going to have to learn how to do this. And I knew how to wash my own clothes, but I would only wash like one thing. You know how when you're a teenager, well, I'm going to put it like this. When I was a teenager, we had certain clothes that we didn't want nobody else to wash. We had certain clothes that we would not even wash. And it was funny because it wasn't no clothes. It wasn't normally clothes that couldn't be washed. Like we did crazy shit in the 80s, like take our jeans to the cleaners. Like, yeah, I got this pair of Sergios, but you know what I mean? This is a good pair of Sergios. So I took my Sergios to the cleaners. We took jeans, regular blue jeans, designer jeans to the cleaners. Like, nah, because we ain't trying to fuck up this. We ain't trying to fade these joints. So shit like that. Like I had the Benetton shirt. The Benetton. The rugby Benetton. It said Benetton. Blue shirt. White stripe. It said Benetton. Blue letters. That was like my claim to fame. Benetton. Like, nah, I ain't washing my Benetton shirt. I ain't washing it. Nah, no. I ain't washing it with no other clothes. Benetton shirt get washed by itself. Benetton. Benetton. Shit like that. So I was like, I ain't never washed a whole load of clothes. But she took my ass to the laundromat and made me do it. She washed the clothes there too. Like, fuck it. I ain't got to wash it at the crib. I'm gonna wash my clothes there too. When I moved in, it was me and my brother living together. She took both of us. She took both of us to the laundromat. Straight like that. Why his book says, I remember a dude doing that with Paul Mary's. Yeah, because Paul Mary's was tailor-made. Even the jeans, they was tailor-made jeans. I never really liked the Paul Mary jeans. Like, why would you get jeans, Paul Mary? Some of them was all right, but I was like, seemed like a French cut jeans. French cut jeans, like fresh from the Paul Mary shop. John Paul Mary, Joe Paul Mary. Shit, my man, he took his regular jeans to the cleaners, like Jordan, Sergio. Washing them shits. These shits gotta last. After school job, baby. So I was taking for granted that she would always hold me down. I never even thought like, yo, I'm gonna have to start learning how to cook. I hadn't thought about none of this shit. I'm used to being cooked for. I had a lot of on-the-job training that I had to do because I was taking a lot of things for granted. I learned over the years not to take certain things for granted, but I think I learned it a little too well because after a while you start, I don't know about everybody, but I know I started not accepting help from anybody. I thought that there was a price assessed to everything somebody did for you. Like, I do this for you, I'm gonna throw it back in your face later, or I'm gonna take it away from you later. You know, you get to thinking like that. Emily Cherry says, women these days cooking for men trying to get them. You ain't getting no chicken Alfredo over here, buddy. Now we can cook together, but why should I be over a hot stove? I don't have no babies. I don't know. All right, well, you know, like the whole cooking thing, like to me, that's not a big deal. But hey. But let me ask you this though. If he was your man, would you cook for him all the time? Would you give him a chance to take that for granted? Is that what you would do? Would you allow your man to be able to take for granted that every time you come through, you gonna be on the stove? And I ain't talking about shaking a aluminum pan, you know what I mean, with the Jiffy Pop. Shell and Dita, I'll give it to them. They some cooking asses. They cook good as shit. And they husbands ain't never got to worry about their meal. No meal. Ever. They cooks. But they get that from my mom. My mom was a breakfast, lunch, and dinner mom. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She was a iron for the whole week. Sunday to Saturday. That's how she get down. I guess that old school Southern, I don't know what you might call it, but she definitely wasn't the type that let her pride get in the way. Like this is how a woman do a man, and if you don't do it like this, then you don't expect your man to blah. It ain't gonna stop your man from cheating on you. You know what I mean? It ain't. But I guess in your mind, you got to feel like, regardless of what happens, this is what I do. This is what I do. So I guess I'm asking, if this is what you do, then you're kind of putting somebody in the position to take it for granted. What's wrong with them taking it for granted? Are they treating you like Hazel the maid? If it's a dude and he has made his girl get used to him paying for everything. They go out, he pay for it. She got bills, he pay them. Whatever the financial costs are for things associated with her, he taking care of it. It's an easy thing to get used to. All of her money, whether she works or not, is her money. She gets to spend it the way she wants to spend it. And everything else is taken care of. That's the agreement between her and a man. Of course, she's going to get used to that. And of course, she's going to take that for granted. More than likely, she's going to push the envelope on that and test the limits. Wyatt's book says, no, absolutely not. I will cook, but done make that. Oh, but don't make that. Let's say done. Let's say done. Let's say done. And you're a writer. So I'm just saying. Don't make that another job for me. This is interesting. So y'all want to cook, but y'all only want to cook on your own terms. Interesting. Okay. We're getting somewhere here. Huh. You're down to cook, but you want to cook on your own terms. I wonder how many other things that fall under this criteria. Now I'm thinking that if you cook, you're going to eat too. And some people really enjoy cooking. So it's not really a big deal. But I would imagine that if you don't enjoy cooking, then it's like, listen, this ain't going to be going on every night. Like, but we live together. We got to eat every day. Yeah, well, you know how women get. Well, why can't you cook sometimes? I'm like, all right. Well, why can't you change your oil sometimes? Like I changed your tire last time you got a flat. Now you change it. What? I don't know. TK Wright says, I was a breakfast, lunch, dinner mom because my parents weren't. However, I taught my boys how to cook and my daughter how to do construction so that they didn't have to depend on anyone else for that, even me. Not having to depend on anyone else. I can depend on myself. I don't need anybody else to be on my back like that. To be on my back like that. Is depending on somebody else a bad thing? Is depending on somebody a bad thing? Because surely we all depend on somebody for something. There's no way you can get through life without it. Is there? Like I used to think I didn't depend on nobody else, but I do. Regardless of how small it may be or how large it may be, you depend on somebody to be there. Even if it's just the store that has certain business hours, I depend on them to be open. And you can best believe I'd be pissed when they're not open. I'm pissed. Like, yo, what are y'all doing? What are you doing? Sherry says, I'm older now. I will cook maybe 3 times out of the week. But it's important that the person recognize my efforts and contributions. My name, not Hazel. My eyes are. Oh, so you feel like cooking or being obligated to cook makes you like a servant. Interesting. I don't know. This is getting interesting. This is very interesting. So it's more than him taking it for granted. For himself, you feel like this is servitude. But it's only for him. Interesting. Interesting. This could go a lot of different ways. Okay, go a lot of different ways. Good looking out, Emily, with the hearts and Instagram. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. TK Wright says, however, I didn't want them to take those things being done for them for granted. Okay. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Make sure that you mash it, press it. Make sure that you stress it. Make sure that you push that thing. Let the likes go up. Make this show king. Make sure that's better than all the rest. I see 13 people. I see 14 likes. And make sure that you share the show and subscribe. You know how that go. Subscribe to it. YS Book says, my husband is a mechanic. If I want to make him mad, I will change my own oil. Funny as hell how that works. Ansel Jones says, relationships are hard work. When one person feels that they're being taken for granted, that's a big void to fill. What I'm really intrigued about this whole conversation is what the things are that we consider taken for granted. And I thought I was already set in the way that I felt about this, but now I'm listening to what I'm like, Hmm. Hmm. Taken for granted. Taking it for granted. Interesting. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Because when you talk about this whole taking for granted thing, sometimes it's a situation where somebody gives you something to take for granted, and sometimes you ask for the thing and try to get control and let somebody know this is the way I like it. So in order for you to be with me, this is what you're going to have to do. A lot of women do that in terms of money. They let they dude know right from the gate, if you're going to be with me, I got bills to pay and I need a man to pay them. If that's not your speed, if that's not what you do, then you need to keep it moving. Because to be with me, you got to make sure that I don't be wanting for nothing, or that I ain't never broke, or that, my bills ain't bringing me down. Men do the same thing, in case of the cooking, the cleaning, and all that kind of stuff. Like, listen, this is what I expect my woman to do. You want to be my woman? This is what you got to do. If you got a problem with it, we can go ahead and solve it right now by being with somebody else. But if you want to be with me, this is what I need. Now, this is what I'll do for you. This is what I'll do for you in exchange. But this is what I need. This is how we do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you think about a person trying to make sure that they set their position early in a relationship, it happens all the time. Cats will set up things to make sure that you understand. Melissa Hearns. What up, Melissa Hearns? Thanks for coming on through. I appreciate you coming on through. I really do. Yeah. So men and women do it. Try to set the precedent early. This is what I expect. If you can't do it, then, well, we can be friends. But in order for me to do these things for you, this is what I need you to do for me. What's it going to be? So you would think that in the beginning, having an agreement like that, then the chance to take something for granted wouldn't present itself, but it still does, because people feel some kind of way when they feel like they're giving, and not receiving. And even when they are receiving, they feel like the scales ain't balanced. I know you giving, but you're not giving what I'm giving. I'm giving more. You're taking me for granted. Okay. And so Jones says, ain't nothing going on. This is what it is. You ain't with it. You see this face, you see this body, all the sexiness. Somebody will sign up for it quick. Matter of fact, I'm already signed for it, but I'm willing to break that contract in order, to sign you on. But needless to say, you're gonna have to up the ante. I'm not sure if I'm going for the match. You might have to do more to match it. You might have to up the ante. You got to beat that. Cherry says, yes, at Ansel, nothing going on but the rent, but you got to have a job if you want to be with me. No romance without finance. Word up. Shirley Sure, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Shirley Sure, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. She says, glorious evening. Glorious evening, Omar and everyone. Thanks for seeing your comment. Thanks for coming on through Shirley Sure, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Without a digging it out. So y'all see how these things can go. When a man and a woman get together, sexually, Sexually, you may let your man know. This is what I need. A man would normally let a woman know, like, this is how we do it. This is how it's going to go. A lot of people don't do that. Don't set the precedent and wind up complaining about shit all the time. It's a little harder to come back and complain about something that you agreed to in the beginning, but people do it all the time. And sometimes it's a little warranted. I'll never forget. Picture it, 2003. 2003, I remember I met this chick standing on the corner of 21st and Ridge Avenue. Because we had a crib at 21st and Ridge Avenue. And she was waiting for the bus. I was like, you want to ride? She said, yeah. Gave her a ride, dropped her off or whatever. A while later, because this is around the time I'd only been doing comedy for about a year. A little over a year, just a little bit over a year. And I had my own comedy room, so I asked her to come to the joint, come to the room and check me out doing my thing. She was like, nah, what I'm gonna do, after you done, come scoop me up. And we can go back to your crib. I was like, oh, okay. All right, that's what's up. She's skipping the middleman, all right? After the show, went and scooped her up. So she was like, well, I got a son. I was like, all right, that's cool. She was like, all right, well, my mom got to watch my son. I was like, and? She was like, but my mom, see, the crazy thing about it was her mom worked at the bar that was on the corner of her block. Her mom was the barmaid. She worked at the bar. So I'm like, well, how is she watching your son? She was like, she's watching my son. So bottom line is we got to throw my mom a couple of dollars, to watch my son. Like, so we got to pay pay the son's grandmother to watch your grandson so her daughter can go out after hours. Because it had to be like, I don't know, 12, 1 o'clock. Some, at least. So I'm peeping shorty out. I'm like, okay. I see what we doing. I said, all right. Because back then, I was the type to agree with some shit I knew I was going to do. Like, all right. Okay. It might be worth it in the long run. Plus, I'm like, all right, she already kicking game. I see where this is going. Then she's like, dark skin. Hold on. She's buffering. It was buffering on YouTube, so I ain't want to keep going while it was buffering. But what I was saying was, I'm peeping shorty out. I see she's a game kicker. She was a cutie, little dark skinned chick. Definitely had the bow. She was official. But I'm peeping how she do. She making sure that she stacked the chips in her favor. She letting me know. I'm like, okay. All right. So we goes to the crib. We talking, whatever. Had a drink or two, whatever. All right. But I'm not really digging shorty, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not really liking what she putting down. I'm not really digging it. And I think I was 33 years old. You couldn't really tell me shit. Like, throughout my 20s, you couldn't tell me shit off of pure ego. At 33, now I done learned some shit. I'm like, I don't really think you know who you fucking with, shorty. But a sucker is not I. I was working out all the time. I mean, you really couldn't tell me shit. Had a couple of dollars. I had 2 rides. you know what I mean, a drop top and a truck, and I have my own place, and you know, my shit is like, in my mind, I'm on top of the world. Like, who is you? But I'm peeping it out. So anyway, we getting ready to get into it. And she was like, well, hold on. You got to do this first. I was like, I got to do what? She was like, you know, you got to lick the cat first. And I was like, Now, normally this wouldn't really be a problem. But in my mind, it's a problem now. I'm like, you're giving out too many fucking orders. Really, I was, you know, it's kind of irritating me. And you got to remember, this is in my drinking days. So I'm like, so I had to think there for a minute. Because she already telling me, like, other than that, we just going to lay here for the rest of the night. I'm like, so 1 o'clock, it's around 1:32 by now, whatever. You at my crib. And for the most part, you're naked. And you're telling me that you're going to lay here naked for the rest of the night if I don't follow your orders. And I was like, So I said, nah, I'm good. I was like, tell you what, put your clothes back on. I'll take you back home. And she looked like, I started putting my shit on. Come on. She looking at me like, you can't be serious. Oh, I'm dead serious. She's irking me. I don't like it. So we got in my truck or the car. I don't even remember. Took her ass home. When I dropped her off at the crib, she was like, oh, what about my mom, you know, the money for the babysitting? Now I'm in full asshole mode. I was like, we was going about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Plus your mom the bar ain't even closed. The bar wasn't closed yet. Like, she ain't watching your son. I said, tell your mom I owe her. Because I was sure I wasn't never going to see this chick again. And I was all right with that. Now, I know it was a little blow to her ego because I know she was looking like, I'm fly. And I'm like, but I'm fly. You ain't got no ride. You ain't even got no crib. I don't know what kind of job you do, but you begging. So I ain't impressed. But I know that shit had worked with all of the dudes that she had been dealing with because she was too methodical with it. Like, all right, first you do this, then you do that, then you do that, then you do that. So she was taking for granted that her technique was going to work. And I wanted to make sure that it failed that night. So like I said, I was prepared never to speak to Shorty again. But she called me back. Like, so what's up with you? I was like, nothing. I wasn't fucking with that chick. So I know she was thinking like you won. I know you might as well go ahead and take over now. I'm like, no. Because your comeback ain't something that I think I want to see. You fuck around and set me up next time to get robbed of some shit. You already seen my crib. You know what I'm saying? It was like, no. It was not gonna happen. Shit was crazy. I was like, on the comeback, this chick gonna set me up. And no, not because she was a North Philly chick. because she was a schemer. And she thought she was a little too smart. And she might have been smarter than me. But I don't give a fuck. A lot of people are smarter than me. That don't mean you're going to win. All right. So, Ansel Jones says, relationship on lease is what it is. Grits and wavy. Wavy and grits. I said grits and wavy and grits. I said grits and wavy and grits. I said grits and wavy and grits. She said she was trying to see if you a simp. Yo, she would. You see, when I say you should have seen it, like I'm peeping it, like yo, if you want this ass bad enough, you gonna do all this shit, right? I'm like, Funny thing is, had she not asked for none of that shit, she probably would have got all of that shit. But I ain't like technique. At the end of the night, I didn't like her no more. There's one thing if you just had a bad date. This was a jump off. How do a jump off go wrong? Because she was trying to turn it into a tricking situation. And I don't trick. I really never did that. I ain't never paid for no ass straight up and down in my life. I paid for some ass almost with my life before. But I'm not paying out. I'm not going in my pockets and saying ass, hit, out. No, we're not doing that. I've never done it. Never, ever. Nor will I. No, I wasn't raised that way. My old heads was fly. Like, nah, we ain't doing that, son. I mean, let them other niggas trick. Nah. Let them other niggas trick. You throw the dick right, you ain't got to do that shit. Of course, you got to see that it's right first. So you might have to do some things in order to get your foot in the door. But once you get your foot in the door, you make sure. Tone Starks, my man. Tone Starks. Ansel says Ghostface Killer. I say Iron Man. Iron Man from New York. Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? This is what's up, y'all. But yeah. So when we start talking about used to it being there and taking things for granted, for people who really are used to things being the way that they are, it's hard for them to accept that things have to change sometimes or that they have to adjust their behavior in any way. I get all of that. I do. I understand. But we all have to be a little flexible in the way that we do things. We can't always have everything exactly the way we want it. But sometimes I think being as though I remember that incident as if it was last night. Like I said, this was my drinking days, but this shit was vivid. I always wonder, like, what if I had been a sucker boy and said, all right, well, now that I showed her what time it is, now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna make shit my way. I always wonder, like, what if I would have done that? Like, nah, this chick had a little demon in her. I only like chicks that get crazy or get mad when somebody actually does something to them. You be fucking with no setup chicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we ain't doing that side. Plus, in those days, a robbery attempt or something like that would have went bad. Because I would have straight blasted. Like, I would have straight pulled. I was licensed to carry. I was carrying heavy. And I would not have hesitated to bow, empty the whole 16 in them. Yeah, that clip was long. The whole 16. You gonna get it. Spaced out bullets, you know what I mean? Soaked in oil and shit. Put in with the glove. No prints, no nothing. You gonna get it. I ain't gonna front. I ain't never been no gangster, but I never been a punk. So men and women, couples, parents, we friends, we find ourselves in situations. We find ourselves in situations where people take us for granted all the time. Friends take each other for granted. We do it all the time. Any of y'all ever been the friend that always has the car, the one that drives all the friends around, picks everybody up? Any of y'all ever been the friend that always has the money, pays for everybody's shit? People will take that for granted all day. All day. Why his book says, how do you go from that to a complete setup? See, the reason that you have to ask that question, why his books, is because you don't live that life. You ain't about that life. And the thing is, I'm not about that life either. But I've been around so many people that are about that life that you have to take those kind of things into consideration. See, when people don't, everybody is not a quitter, and everybody doesn't learn their lesson the first time. So some people take that failure as a chance to come back and kill. Not necessarily kill literally, but they're going to make sure that they win that next round. Because she might have figured like, you know what? I wasn't ready for his shit, but now I am. So I'll do it like this, This. Plus, you know what, Maya's books? She lived on a street that you could not park on. That was some weird shit. I don't mean like one of those, you know how like some people live on those beautiful streets that's labeled as a place. Like, let's say it's called, like, all right, in South Philly, there's this one block of St. Albans called St. Albans Place. Actually, it's 2 blocks. So on St. Albans Place, between 21st and 23rd,
90 seconds.
Between 21st and 23rd, you can't park on that block because it doesn't have a street. It's a place. So there are houses on both sides of the street, and in the middle, there's a sidewalk, and in the middle there are like trees. So it's actually very nice. But her block wasn't like that. You just could not park a car on her block. It was a really small North Philly street.
60
and
seconds.
They were like you couldn't even park on the sidewalk on some double parking shit. So in order to come scoop her up, you had to like come sit outside the crib, park the car, leave the car and park or whatever, and either knock on the door, ring a bell, or you had to beat the horn and let her come out. Other than that, you had to park on a street that she did not live and walk to her crib. It was different. I'll never forget that shit. I was like, this is the fucking setup street. All one has to do is have when you get on the block, have somebody park at the top of the block and block that. Have somebody park at the bottom of the block and block that. And I don't like to think that way, but I can't escape thinking that way. I've had to learn some tough lessons that I will not ever forget because I was sleeping and I decided not to rest anymore. Like, I don't trust a chick until I can trust a chick, but I decide when, not her. All that you get trust, man, fuck out of here. I'll make that determination, and you should do the same thing with me, shorty. You don't know who I am. You don't know what I know. You don't know what I might do. I might be crazy. Tony Stark says, I know some Brooklyn chicks like that, setting dudes badly. Guy coming home, coming for some pussy, but leaves with a $150. Took his jewels, took his ballet shoes, took his money, took his gold nugget watch. You know, we talking about all this 80s shit, you know what I'm saying? Took his 3-finger ring, took all this shit. Carol Chambers says that was a straight alley. It was. And you know where it was? Over there off 29th Street before you get to Allegheny. So it was like Allegheny. It was between Allegheny. There's a little street between Allegheny and Clearfield off 29th. Straight in the cut. I don't know what kind of street is this. The street was so skinny, it looked like the houses was laying back like this. You know, the row homes. It was like they was laying back. I was like, how does the trash truck even fit down here? It's weird. But I was gonna be goddamn if I tested that again. No. TK Wright says, while books schemers do not like rejection. No, they do not. No, they do not. The stupidest thing you can do with somebody that's living that life is be like, yeah, I showed them. I bet you they won't fuck with me no more. Like, nigga, you want to die. Or they're about to teach you a lesson you will never, ever, 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 ever get the opportunity to forget. Cherry says, you can feel when somebody is a user or a liar. Sometimes people just want to believe the lies because the person has something they want, usually money or sex or both. It could be a lifestyle. It could be a life. They could be using you to get to somebody else. Nonetheless, when we start talking about being used to something being there and taking it for granted, it comes in levels. There are levels to this thing. Levels. Siobhan Malone. Thanks for coming on through. Siobhan Malone. It's good to see you. What's going on? Siobhan Malone. TK Wright says, near Natrona. I don't want to talk about that. Anyway. Carol Chamberlain says, over there by that bar. Y'all know too much. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, the bottom line is, you know what I'm saying? That shit was in the cut. That shit was in his own. You know what I'm saying? And I was never going on that street again. Over there by E.W. Road School. Carol Chamberlain says, I think the bar was called the Boardroom. I don't know nothing about that. I don't remember. I don't remember nothing. Matter of fact, I lied about the whole thing. This shit happened in Jersey. Need a jug handle. All right, anyway. Happened in Jersey. What up, Canada? 69, 62. What's going on, Canada? Good to see me, some of you. Appreciate it. Emily says, hello, everyone. I haven't spoken to. I wasn't ignoring. We knew you was there. Carol Chamberlain says, I had people that was over there. Well, tell your peoples, they need to tell their people to slow down. Slow down, man. Motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Shorty was Tretch. And I don't mean a good rapper from the bricks. You know what I mean? I don't mean the naughty by nature rapper from the bricks. No. But yeah, used to it being there and taking it for granted. You could experience this in all forms, whether it's friendship or kinship. You know, your kids might be used to you always coming to their rescue. You know who like somebody that goes to jail all the time. You know, we all have a relative can't stay the fuck out of jail. but they always expect somebody to hold them down. So when they go to jail, they always expect somebody to try to make bail for them. They get to the point where the bail is too high for anybody to make for them. Now they expect somebody to hold it down for them while they're in jail. You know, come put some money on my books. Hold, you know, come through on the VI. Help me out. Taking for granted that people are going to do it. And a lot of times, if they are the type of person who everybody loves or everybody cares for or everybody feels was underprivileged, and that's the reason that they're doing the shit that they do, you will fuck around and be there for them. So you was bailing them out until you couldn't bail them out no more. Now you holding them down in prison until you couldn't hold them down no more. When they come home, you making sure that you help them get back on their feet again and again and again and again and again. Every job you give to them, get for them, help them out, they fuck it up. They came home after doing 36 months. Came home after 36 months. All right, you got them a union job. They doing construction, doing labor work. $22 an hour. Came home making $22 an hour. Good ass job. What'd he do? Fuck that job up. Fucked it up. Couldn't come to work on time. When he come to work, he act like, well, you know, such I would have did the work, but you know, such and such don't know how to talk to nobody. And so since, you know what I mean, I'm a man just like he a man, or I'm a man, she a woman, whatever, you know what I mean? I don't appreciate nobody talking to me like that. You gonna fuck up a $22 an hour job when your ass just coming home after 36 months? You haven't even walked your time off. You still got another 27 months. Well, I'm just saying, man. You know, I appreciate you getting me the job and everything, but you know what I mean? I mean, you supposed to be on my side. Used to being there and taking it for granted. They get knocked again. Go back to jail. Do another 47 months. Not the 48. They did 47. Came home on 1 month's good behavior. Prison overcrowding. The Rona. Dangerous. Come home after 47 months. You couldn't get them a $22 job, hour job this time. They had to settle for the $19 hour job. Got them into another union. What happens? No call, no show. What? No call, no show. What happened? Well, my girl ain't wake me up. I told her I had to go to work the next day, and you know, she ain't wake me up. That means you couldn't call? Well, like, what I'm saying. You saying what? I'm saying, I mean, I woke up late. I mean, you know, my bad. The real problem is you had other violations before. This wasn't your first lateness. This wasn't your first unexcused absence. But motherfuckers keep looking out for you. And you're taking it for granted. We a little overtime. I just wanna go over this last thing. How do you think that people who take things for granted fare when what they took for granted isn't there anymore? How do y'all think that works out? Is it the case where, you know, you don't know what you got till it's gone? You don't know what you got till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it's gone. Don't know what you got till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it's gone. You had it going the fuck on. And now they took all you had away because you didn't treat that shit. And now, for another day, you got to search and look, but you're not going to have the same good look. You're done. You're shook. And it's not going to come around again. You got to wait for that shit to turn 10. But when you had it, you was riding, you was doing everything. You wasn't putting nothing inside of the sippy cup, the motherfucking, you know, give me the money cup. Use a panhandling nut ass bro. Yeah, listen, How does it go? Brown Eyes. What up, Brown Eyes and Rita Reds? Rita. What up, Rita? Good to see me some of you. Yeah. So how do y'all think it go down? How'd it go? I mean, do y'all know of any stories where, somebody took something for granted and when it got taken away, it was like, yeah, you don't know what you got till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it's gone. Yeah, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Yeah, you had your shit going on, word born. But now it's gone and it's lost. You can't get it back and you can't afford the cost. Something was given to you freely, and you treated the shit like AJ Steele. Whack ass quarterback just came off the bench. You couldn't turn the shit like a wrench. But I smell a stench of thinking you ain't gonna be having this thing again. I don't think. But when you had it, you was pro, and now it's done for. You're done, y'all. But maybe one day it'll come back, but it ain't gonna come way the same way. No, not like that. All right. Carol Chamberlain says, Ninja, ain't you grown? Why somebody gotta wake you up? Excuse making motherfuckers don't know. Listen. You know the real reason he did the no call, no show was because they was getting high the night before and he just went to bed. He just went to bed 2 hours before he was supposed to go to work. You know how this shit go. Up tricking, up smoking. You know what I'm saying? You know how it go. Tone Stark says, sounds like my dumbass uncle. We all got an uncle like that or cousin, something. Tone Stark says, let him sleep. Woo! Carol Chamberlain says, they be effed up. She says, and assed out too. Effed up and assed out. That sounds like a show. Effed up and assed out. Effed up and assed out. Now, Carol, you starting to write. I'm down with you. I'm saying. About to do these birthday shout outs, but I'm gonna tell you what. Somebody about to get a writing credit. That sound right up our alley. Where that? Effed up and assed down. Yes, effed up and assed down. Effed up and assed out. So when we talk about that tomorrow, or some time in the future, just know that Carol Chamberlain wrote this. She wrote it. Effed up and assed out. I love that shit. All right. T. Carey Wright says they scramble looking for sympathy from someone else who they can lean on for those things that you just shut down. That you shut down. Okay, word. Tone Stark says 14 more days left till I'm free from FB jail. Hold your head. Hold your head, G. Hold your head. Carol says, my daughter with her grandparents, and she's been suffering ever since, or ever since. Oh, you said meant sense don't come from me, Omar? Well, what fun would be in that? Effed up and assed out. Free tone, free tone. Where? Free tone, free tone. Let's do these birthday shout outs. Y'all wilding. They're wilding. All right. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious December 29th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making the bill special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They got the S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Number one out the box, Jovan Taylor Happy birthday to you. And Loema Sims, happy birthday to you. And Phoebe Joe Sams, turning 48 years old today. And Tara Holmes, turning 50 years old today. And she's a 1970 baby. With the crazy. Yes, she is. Word up. And Flicker Bex, turning 30 years old today. She's a 1990 baby. And Valencia Abraham, happy birthday to you, Valencia. And Danielle Smith, turning 44 years. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, she's 44 years now. And Keith Blasingame. I guess that says Blazing Game. Keith Blazing Game, turning 55 years old today. Deuce Nichols. And Kobe Jack, happy birthday to you. And Veronica Davis, happy birthday to you. And my man James Brick, happy birthday to you. And my cuz up there in Milwaukee, Angela Games. That's my girl, Angie, turning 59 years old today. Damn. You know what I'm saying? I remember I used to go to my cousin Chris. They used to make all over me, her and Trina. Y'all said love y'all to death. Happy birthday to you, Angie. And last but not least, my girl, Arthur. She's been on the I'm thinking she on the Sun Always Shine show. No, she's been on the Daily Go Getimism show. No, Urban Therapy with Sun show several times. My girl, Terrell Ebony. Terrell Ebony. Yee, good looking. Good looking. And Black Economic Exchange and Funny Peaches. Thanks for coming through on the Instagram side. Appreciate y'all mucho. I want to say happy birthday to all of you and anybody else who celebrates this glorious December 29th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up, but don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on it, do the damn, to rock out, rock on it, do the damn, rock out, rock on it, do the damn thing, you do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings, and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, listen, man. I'll tell you like this, and I'm gonna tell you straight, and I'm gonna tell you, Terry Hawkins, hold it down for the day, all day, every day, 365, 12 months a year, 52 weeks. My girl Terry, what's up, baby? Where your baby? It's good to see. Terry Hawkins, okay. Listen, there's nothing wrong with getting used to the good life. The good life is what we should all have the pleasure and the freedom to get used to. But always remember where you came from. And that's basically what this all boils down to. Remember where you came from. Remember that you in order to get used to something good, you had to have come from something that wasn't as good. Not necessarily saying that you had to come from the slums or something that was terrible. But you didn't. You went from a area of lower concentration to an area of higher concentration, and somebody is directly responsible for that. So pay a little homage, show a little love, do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight, get down tonight, do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight, get down, baby. Don't take motherfuckers for granted, and don't take your blessings as always going to be there, because they won't. And when they go, I hope you haven't started to depend on them so much and took them for granted so much that you can't even recover. You's a sucker boy that used to irk me. You never was really down your job time, turkey. We be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to be going down. We might be talking about being assed out and effed up, because I just thought of that shit tonight. Fly ass title. I just thought of it out of the blue, because I'm like a genius. I'm what a genius would be if a genius wasn't raised right and never had the right opportunities. But yeah, I thought of that. Okay. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all back to life. I really appreciate y'all coming out and let me do my thing on a regular basis, especially tonight. Y'all ain't have to put up with my shit, but y'all did. Make sure that y'all hit that like button. Make sure that you share the show and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Terry, make sure you come back tomorrow night, please. I ain't gonna take for granted that you'll be there. Carol said, I hear you, genius. Yeah, you know, you've always supported my genius. Because you know, it's raw. Okay. I'll holler at y'all later. Let me get Blog Talk on up out of here. I holler back at you, Blog Talk. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for using
And thank you to everybody on the Instagram side. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all to death. Resuscitate your love you back to life. Appreciate y'all. 7 o'clock tomorrow. We be right here. We be broadcasting right there, baby. Peace. Thank you. Peace. Instagram. Peace, Instagram. And for my YouTubers, and I'm going to get back. I thank y'all for letting me still act like a fool. You know the rules, and we still got the tools. It's going to be all right. And because you know how we do. Peace.